How do you intend, to merge the concerns of the airlines in terms of their commercial concerns that, the price of inputs are expensive with, the need to expand the Nigerian aviation sector? Are we looking at the ministry, ensuring that some airlines merge together to make sure they're bigger? Or are we looking to open up the basket to other, airlines? And what are your plans for the airports?
It's a multi-pronged approach we have to that issue because it's not just one approach that will solve that problem. One, you want to make sure they survive, they are viable, commercially. And then, of course, you want to ensure through that the flying public also, they have the best deal. The first one is infrastructure. What do we do about infrastructure? There is no ministry now that is an infrastructure ministry that has the capacity by the envelope system to develop those big projects. The envelope system means, of course, the budgeting process, because resources are always, in fact, we're always running deficit budgets. So if we're running a deficit budget, how are we going to ensure that we carry out those big projects? It's not possible by the budgeting system. And so those infrastructure ministries are FCT, Works, Housing, Blue Economy, Aviation, maybe one or two others. Those are the infrastructure ministries. It is only by way of PPPs we can progress along that line. We can turn things around. For the low-hanging fruits, how do we maintain what we have seen on the ground? First of all, we are trying to change the attitude of the civil servants who are supposed to, run these airports. The Federal Airport Authority, we're trying to change their mentality. I've said in another program that most of them are not primed by their training, by their lackadaisical attitude to even by the motivation they give to them, the kind of salaries they receive. They are not primed to raise their game and make these airports as customer-friendly as they should be. So we are looking at bringing in the private sector, which we have started doing already. With the collaboration of the Interior, Minister of Interior, we both collaborated on that. We have changed the arrival wing of the E-wing of the international airport. Shell came in and did a lot for us there. I'm sure you have seen it.
Yes.
That's a beautiful entrance now into Nigeria, the wing E, arrival, not departure, arrival. So we are concentrating on D, and we are talking to one or two people now, corporate bodies. They are just about to start their own, but Shell has done that for us. But the bigger picture is that we need to turn these terminal buildings to proper hubs. And that will mean a complete reconstruction of most of these international airports. I've said before that what we have are just terminal buildings. The runway will just come, you land, you terminate, you go home. We don't have a proper hub, aviation hub, complete with an ecosystem. 5-star hotels, rails coming in, conference centers and all of that. We don't have it. Where people can even come into Nigeria, they don't have to go into the town like it happens in so many places. They stay within the metropolis, they do everything they want to do, hold their conferences, everything, 5-star hotel, do their shopping, and they fly out of the country. That's a proper metropolis and a proper hub we're looking at. So we're trying to attract private people to do that for us. International investors, they're talking with us. The Arabs are talking with us. The Chinese are talking with us. The Americans are talking with us. So many of these investors. We are spoiled for choice, but we'll go for the best. So we want to do that in terms of the long-term plan. I've talked about the short-term plan. That's for infrastructure.
We're still having issues. There's the charter for passengers, the airline charter, the customer charter, and we are not still seeing the airlines being responsive. I also know you came up with something earlier in the year where airlines had to publish weekly, their schedules and their performance in relation to certain KPIs. How do we really protect the consumers?
Well, there's a consumer protection department of the NCA, and I changed the leadership, by the blessing of Mr. President, changed the leadership of some of these agencies. So there's a new department that has come in with a lot of verve and enthusiasm, and they're working so hard. There's been jingles, I'm sure you've seen the jingles, calling on people to report their complaints promptly. As we speak to you, so many reforms are going on, apologies and all of that, but that is still not enough. But it's somewhere to start from. We're just starting. And I think Nigerians should just give us some, like they say, give us some rope to succeed.
Let me know what your future plan is, your vision is, and what challenges you think you would face, in a nutshell.
Well, my vision is encapsulated in the 5-point agenda. That is a clear vision where we are going. Now, even when we cannot achieve everything, government is always a continuum. So I'm not under any illusion that I'm going to come into office and achieve everything that you should achieve in the aviation sector. But at least my vision is that at the end of my tenure, I would have shown a clear path as to where we are going. I would have achieved, of course, a lot. I would not have achieved everything, but I would have achieved a lot and set a clear path as to where this industry should be going in the next few years.
So that's sustainable growth over,
absolutely. In terms of the 5-point agenda, a clear path as to where we're going. For instance, I expect that before we leave office, even if I cannot turn around all the 5 international airports, I expect that we would have signed agreements with concessionaires. They would have started work on these airports. They would have finished maybe phase 1, phase 2, and we'll know exactly where we're going in terms of infrastructure. In terms of safety standards, I expect that I would have put my foot on the ground to the extent that Nigerians will feel very safe flying within our space. The regulators will be strengthened, regulators will do their job, and of course, ICAO's audits will clear us and give us high marks. I'm working so hard on that next time ICAO comes, the other time we scored 70, the last audit of ICAO, but South Africa scored 92.
Wow.
But we scored 70. And that was just 1-point movement from what we scored earlier, which was 69%, 2 or 3 years ago. Then we now moved up just 1 point. I said, no, that's not enough. I want to see us edge close to 100% in terms of our safety standards in the airport. So that is my vision for safety and its standards. For support of local airlines, like I said, I want to ensure before I leave that two or three key things happen. One, that our local airlines now have access to dry leases across the world. And so we'll have enough airplanes. And even many people can start an airline. You can start an airline with your friends because you don't need all the money in the world to buy the planes. Put a small deposit in, take 6 planes from a big company on dry lease, you started. Every month you are paying. It's like hire purchase. You are paying back every monthly. They can say pay back $1 million or 500 million every month. You can make that money and be paying it every month back to the lessors. You can start an airline. And my dream is that, so that we can liberalize that space. It won't look like a closed market. Yes, a closed market. The MROs, I want to ensure that at least the one MRO is near completion or completed before I leave office. Thank God, Ibom Air is going to give me a low-hanging fruit on that. Ibom Air has done so well with their big wide-body MRO. They are like 80% complete or 90% complete, and I hope to commission that before I leave office. So these are my dreams, not to do everything, but to go to, to get some, traction before I leave office.
In concluding this interview, sir, in one word, what is your message to Nigerians as relates to your ministry?
Have faith. Keep hope alive. You are safe. You are safe in my hands. In the hands of Asiwaju, with the Renewed Hope agenda, you are safe within our airspace. So long as we do what is right, you are safe.